Hello, good evening. It's News 360 coming to you live from the News Hub here at Adesawe Kanda. I am Portia Gabo.
And I am Martin Asiedu Date. Coming up for the next 1 hour.
News 360 Headlines is brought to you by
Flamingo Paint
and Napa Foods. Heaven Black Insecticide Spray and Coil.
New Patriotic Party flag-bearer aspirants wait with bated breath the outcome of vetting, but Majority Leader in Parliament, Mensah Bonsu, in an exclusive interview, says the flag-bearer race should not even be a contest.
In a field of competent people, you still have one person emerge as super competent. I'm looking at the experience of Dr. Boromia. I'm looking at his loyalty to the party. I'm looking at his humility. He stands out.
Also tonight, Chinese national Aisha Wan opens defense and trial over Galamsey offences.
Also in the bulletin, the dead makes way for the living in Ashanti region, but residents of one community would have none of that.
The affected portion of the cemetery is where the royals have been buried. We can't allow this to go on because we may suffer spiritually.
In business news, individual bondholders to picket at the Finance Ministry tomorrow, Tuesday, July 11, over unpaid coupons.
Later on the international front, Tunisian authorities suspend salary payments of 17,000 teachers and sack 350 school principals. We have details of all these stories and more. Let us know what you think of the stories we have for you tonight. We'll be happy to reshare them with the rest of the world.
We begin from the courts where Chinese nationals standing trial over mining-related offences, Aisha Wan, has denied participating in illegal mining or engaging in foreign nationals for such activities. Aisha Wan mounted the witness box for the first time to open her defence in court today after prosecution established enough grounds for her to be prosecuted. Lord Idwasari has more.
En Huang, popularly known as Aisha, is facing 3 counts of undertaking a mining operation without a license, facilitating the participation of persons engaged in a mining operation, and illegal employment of foreigners. Although she has denied her role in these charges, the Chinese national has pleaded guilty to entering Ghana while prohibited from re-entry. Speaking in court for the first time with the assistance of an interpreter as she tendered in her witness statement, Aisha noted that her prominence among the indigents at Ahojo in Kumasi and by extension Ashanti region was born from her ability to grasp elementary English to maneuver her daily routines. Aisha Huang told the court she became the go-to person and point of reference for both Ghanaians and other Chinese nationals because she operated a supermarket in her vicinity during her stay in the country between 2013 and 2018 before she got deported. She, however, denied ownership or operation of a mining site in the Amansie Central District of the Ashanti region, as well as employing foreign nationals illegally. According to her, she came into contact with the 4 other Chinese nationals charged with Galamsey-related offences after the Ghana Immigration Service reached out to her about their arrests following the expiration of their passports. Presiding Judge Lydia Osema for adjourned for the trial to continue on July 17. Lord Idwasari, TV3 News, Accra.
Let's take you to the Ashanti region where tension is mounting at Amina in the Forikro municipality following the clearing of the community cemetery and subsequent exhuming of bodies by a private developer. The private developer claims that she has secured a court order to construct a road through the cemetery to her house, but the youth in the area say they will not allow that to happen. Ibrahim Abubakar has come through with the following report.
Residents woke up to a shock of their lives when they saw a grader destroying portion of the community cemetery. The cleared portion was to lead to the house of a private developer who claims the cemetery is sitting on a road. Angry with the development, the youth in the area attacked the workers in an attempt to prevent them from further destruction of the graveyard.
We are all doing this for the betterment of Amina, so we need development.
When she was building, she used a different route to transport the building materials. Why is she now trying to destroy our cemetery to create a road to her house? We won't agree. The affected portion of the cemetery is where the royals have been buried. We can't allow this to go on because we may suffer spiritually.
The cleared portion is posing health risks to us. The entire area is smelling and has affected the patronage of our cooked food.
Assembly member for the area, Kenneth Owusu-Bediako, insists the land is a cemetery per the layout of the area.
The drawings, the layout and everything is there, and it shows clearly that that place is cemetery land, and the perpetrators are very much aware of that. The youth of the community, I know it isn't a nice scene for you to see your forefathers, your uncles, parents being exposed in the open air. It isn't a sight to behold, but they should all calm down. Once the security agencies have taken up the matter, I am sure calm will be restored and then Amina will come back to life.
Abraham Entry is the municipal chief executive for Forikrom.
The police have invited the parties. You see, in terms of land ownership and who owns what land, that is purely the preserve of the traditional rulers and the courts to determine. But we are more particular with the security implications. I got the team of professionals, including environmental health people, disease control people. We have been there to look at the situation. And the recommendation from all these professionals is to the effect that the open graves there poses some serious threat to human life. Well, we have asked the Ebusuapenyi and the traditional people to quickly liaise with Mensah and make sure they do the necessary traditional obligations, i.e. pouring of libation and other things, to pave way for us to also go and cover the graves and do our fumigation and other things.
The two persons the private developer saw their services to clear the cemetery have handed themselves over to the police for their own safety after some of the youth attacked them.
Let's now focus on the NPP flag bearer race because the die is cast and the heat is on. The process to electing a flag bearer for the new Patriotic Party is taking shape. After receiving the vetting committee's reports, the party is expected to publish the results in a crucial decider that has left much anticipation and interest on the political front. Christian Yali reports.
The vetting, which is a critical part of the processes leading to the selection of a flag bearer for the party ahead of the 2024 elections, started from July 3 and ended on July 6 without the incidents of violence that characterized the filing of nominations. The vetting committee has submitted its report to the National Council, and it is expected that on Tuesday the vetting report would be published.
We submitted our report, that's all. That's the work we were asked to do. And we were given a deadline, and we've met the deadline. The General Secretary will take the report through steering committee up to National Council, and the process goes on.
So may we know some of the things you considered when
you want me to give you the contents of the report? You will not get it from me. We can't give you the contents of the report. On the face of it, the party is very satisfied. If the party has any issues, they'll come back to us.
Per the party's calendar and timelines for the selection of the flag bearer, it is expected that on July 24, a balloting exercise will be held.
The most important thing is that we've complied with the mandate of the National Party to ensure that anybody who has applied to be counted as a presidential aspirant has gone through the process.
The NPP has set August 26 to hold a special delegate conference with some 900 delegates to trim down the number of aspirants to 5. That is if the vetting committee approves more than 5 out of the 10 aspirants to contest for the position. Christian Yale, TV3 News, NPP Headquarters, Accra.
And still on politics and in the NPP, the majority leader in Parliament, Mensah Bonsu, says it is Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia's time to lead the new Patriotic Party into the 2024 elections. He says there are times and seasons for politicians, adding that Dr. Bawumia is competent and loyal and is the right person to lead the party. In an interview with Evelyn Tingma, the majority leader says 122 members of parliament currently support the vice president's candidacy.
The NPP presidential race is heating up as aspirants continue to crisscross the country to canvass for votes. But two candidates, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia and Alan Chemating, seems to be garnering more support, particularly from Parliament. While some say it is Alan's time, the majority leader in Parliament, Mensah Bonsu, thinks otherwise.
In a field of competent people, you still have one person emerge as this one is super competent. I'm looking at the experience of Dr. Bawumia. I'm looking at his loyalty to the party. I'm looking at his focus. I'm looking at his vision. I'm looking at his temperament. I'm looking at his humility. Amongst the group, he stands out. Not just tall, but very, very tall. And that's why I've tied my cloth to his and ably supporting him.
He believes there are times and seasons and people ought to make good use of their time.
In 2008, when President Kufuor was exiting, a lot of stories like now being bandied about that, oh, the system was supporting Alan Chemating. Right? Did it go well for him? It didn't. Because it was a Kufuor season. There's a season for any politician. And you seize it. That's what it is. If you ask me, I think the tide has swung hugely in favor of Dr. Bawumia. It is not in any way to derogate from the effort of Alan. No. And that is why, at the very outset, I was proposing that we put the two together.
The majority leader insists 122 MPs from his side in Parliament support Dr. Bawumia and charged persons who speak for other candidates to be decorous with their comments.
I'm a leader in Parliament. 122 members of Parliament have indicated to me that they are supporting this person. In my constituency, I'm the leader there. The last time I went round, I asked them, who are you people rooting for? They'll tell you plainly. I said, okay, I'm the leader. If I should lead you, and you are telling me that you belong here, then I should lead you to Canaan. So I belong to where the overwhelming majority of my people are saying they belong to. I still think that it's still possible, even though it's getting too late, to still have some dialogue in respect of the two, even though that may create some problems. If one of them should say that, oh, okay, I've gone to test the waters. I've seen that this brother of mine is much ahead of me. I'm pulling out. I'm asking my supporters to support him. That would be a profound statement by that person.
The NPP will go to the polls on November 4 to elect a flag bearer for the 2024 general elections. Evelyn Tingma, TV3 News, Accra.
We're staying on politics because the cost of elections in Ghana continues to spiral upwards as voter inducement and accompanying illegalities associated with elections fast become a norm. But with the country's democracy expected to provide an equal opportunity for all, where does the country draw the line? My colleague Eric Mawana Egbeta has the rest of the story.
Thank you.
Scan what you did? Scan my day. Oh, I was saying. Fetch me.
I'm 200 CDs.
Yes. 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 That's it.
I'm a fan of him.
Yes.
The almost visual representation of party politics in recent times in Ghana, despite being one of the biggest hurdles of Ghana's budding democracy, monetization appears to be fast becoming a norm present in the daily politicking of the country. A 2022 survey by the Center for Democratic Development Ghana revealed that presidential aspirants spend up to $100 million in costs for their participation, a cedi equivalent of 1.1 billion cedis, while would-be MPs cough up at least $693,000 for their positions, also equivalent of some 7.8 million cedis. From the former president to now NDC flag bearers, 40 cedis to the over 200,000 delegates of the NDC as transportation during the party's presidential primary, to open voter inducement witnessed at the Asin North by-election, the cost of election is rising. Perhaps indicative of that cost is a recent audio clipping suggesting that government spent 600,000 cedis at 4 polling stations at the Asin North by-elections, but still lost the polls.
Me can catch them say, "Yenye polling station, 4 polling stations are not your work." And penny for my TRC say, "Sika eba honum, 600,000 Ghana cedis, 6 billion."
Though yet to be substantiated, these associated costs have left Director of Advocacy and Policy Engagement at CDD Ghana, Dr. Kojo Asante Pumpuni, worried.
I think it's a political culture that has become part of the Fourth Republic, and it's getting worse. Because the simple fact is that the more people have to spend money on vote buying and other kinds of inducement, it increases the cost of election. And if that's going to be the case, then, very soon it will be sold to the highest bidder.
For the delegates, this is money rightfully deserved.
We, the police station authorities, at least, if not at all, at least 200 Ghana cedis, I think it will be okay. 200, 300, 400. That's how my 100.
We are not interested in the messages. Others gave us 200 and 300 Ghana cedis. So the 100 Ghana cedis is too small.
The concern continues unabated for many watchers of democracy as the defense from political parties continue pouring in. Eric Mawina-Egbeta, TV3 News, Accra.
Let's continue with the rest of our stories. A BBC Africa Eye investigation has uncovered how a US-based anti-human trafficking organization, the International Justice Mission, may be falsely separating children from their families as part of the operations. In a documentary entitled "The Night They Came for Our Children," BBC uncovered 2 classical instances where the multi-million-dollar charity instigated anti-trafficking operation with the help of Ghana Police Service and the Social Services Department. We bring you excerpts of the documentary.
As a young boy, I would have fished to support my family. Or even worse, sent to work under a boatmaster. Many children are exploited here, with reports that thousands have been trafficked as slave laborers. An American charity is spending big money to tackle the problem. But I have heard stories from the league that rescue missions don't always unfold as in the charity's slick adverts, and that the charity is causing ordinary children to be taken away and innocent families to be prosecuted.
I call it trying to criminalize poverty. That is how I term it.
Families have told us that their children have been taken as victims of trafficking.
Africa Eye had been tipped off. IGM's slick public messaging didn't always reflect how they work in Ghana.
I've met with their families. What they need is to be with their families and not taken away and kept at places that we don't know.
To investigate, Africa Eye went undercover inside one of the world's leading anti-slavery organizations and bring you the story of what happens when good intentions go wrong.
Let's now speak to producer of the BBC Africa Eye documentary, Kwache Afrenuama. Thank you so much for your time. Tell us more about this investigation.
Good evening, Portia. So about a little over a year ago, sources close to the operations of IGM in Ghana hinted us about what they considered to be worrying actions on behalf of the US-based charity. And that's when we began our investigations. I, for example, visited communities where families said they had been separated from their children, and also recounted a certain Rambo style in terms of the IGM Dawn operations. We also spoke to persons who are familiar with the operations and activities of IGM. And that led us to the next stage, which was what triggered the undercover investigation. Of course, it's not a decision we took lightly. And in the interest of the public, in public interest, we decided to proceed to initiate the undercover investigation, which led our undercover operative to work within the IGM setup office in Accra for a reasonable amount of time, which allowed us to gather additional evidence to corroborate the evidence we had gathered on the field, as well as the documentation we had come in contact with.
Kwache, what were the main findings of the documentary the night they came for our children?
This documentary highlights a number of issues. For example, it talks about and raises with supportive evidence about how 2 IGM rescue missions went bad in terms of the failings of those missions. And here I'll refer to one of the operations IGM codenamed Operation Hilltop. This happened in September 2022. That was just last year. And another one called Operation Freedom, which was in October 2019. Now, in both operations, or rescue missions, as IGM calls it, what happened is that children were separated from their families. People were prosecuted for child trafficking. And what happened is that at the end of the day, for example, in the operation conducted by IGM in September 2022 at Moina, a village in the northern part of the country, in the northern region, specifically in Nakpale, the Department of Social Welfare came out and said that per their investigation, the children were not trafficked. Now, the interesting thing is that prior to that particular rescue mission, IGM knew, and this is evidence that's also presented in the report, that senior officials of IGM were aware that this at least 3 of the children and 3 of the cases did not fit the criteria of child trafficking. Well, IGM has told us that their missions and rescue exercises and operations really always have the interest of children at heart. And another thing we identified was that this is an organization that is target-driven. When I say that target-driven, what I mean is that in the investigative footage, you find conversations between the undercover operative and staff of IGM, where they suggest that the number of rescues they make within a particular period is tied to their continuous stay in the organization. For example, one staff of IGM said that you cannot go for so much money from donors and rescue just 10 children a year. And in this regard, IGM said the targets were just to help them evaluate their output so that they will be able to support the state agencies mandated to deal with child trafficking. And indeed, they indicated that none of their staff was penalized for not meeting those specific targets.
Aside the Social Welfare Department, have you had any response from Ghanaian authorities?
Yes, the Department of Social Welfare has told us that they simply acted on information that IGM provided them with. So as I did indicate earlier, IGM had written to the Department of Social Welfare, for example, in the operation conducted in September 2022 at Moina, where the IGM had said that all these were cases of child trafficking. The Department of Social Welfare says they acted on that information, and they believe that their staff acted professionally. Additionally, they did indicate that to the BBC that their own investigations conducted into the Moina incident, for example, identified that it was not a case of child trafficking, and they subsequently took steps to reunite the children with their families. They've also indicated to the BBC that in future, IGM may have to seek additional permissions before they embark on these operations, which means that there has to be some more accountability and transparency in terms of the operations and the impact that it has on these communities.
Kwache, thank you so much for your time. And Kwache Afrenyama is producer at BBC Africa Eye, and the full documentary airs on TV3 on Tuesday, July 11 at 9:30 p.m.
All right, so that's a charity that is being investigated, but there are people who are also leaving the country on their own accord. I'm talking about medical officers. So the Ghana Medical Association, the GMA, is calling for urgent intervention by government to stem the mass exodus of medical professionals. It follows revelation that some 340 health workers, mostly nurses in the Ashanti region, left the shores of the country in the first quarter of the year and in search of greener pastures elsewhere. Specifically, the UK, we are told, has been the most preferred destination. With several doctors also said to be leaving the country, the GMA, I should say, is calling for quick intervention and action to ensure that the critical mass of health professionals do not leave Ghana. So let's speak to the Acting General Secretary of the Ghana Medical Association, Dr. Richard Selome. Doc, a very good evening to you. Thank you for your time.
Good evening to you and your listeners.
Right, we know that, I mean, the story is quite rife and many have talked about it. It looks as though it's the nurses that many know about. But when it comes to doctors, you know, very little is heard. What is the current situation regarding the rate at which doctors are also leaving Ghana?
Yeah, well, the issue cuts across, and it's not only nurses that are leaving the country. Because nurses predominate when it comes to numbers, that tends to be what is highlighted. However, doctors are also leaving the country. With some checks at the Medical and Dental Council, we are told that about 100 doctors and over come to seek clearance to leave the country on a month-to-month basis. That should point you to the fact that about 100 people have expressed the intention to leave the country on a month-to-month basis. In some months, it's as high as 150 doctors. And we are beginning to see various categories of doctors, specialists inclusive, who are beginning to leave the country to see greener pastures elsewhere.
And is it all of them that get that clearance to leave?
Well, of course. We know that every human being is guaranteed the right to free movement. And migration is guaranteed by law to people. So if the person wants to leave, there shouldn't be any impediment in the way. I think that the issue we should be looking at is not putting impediments per se, but making conditions more attractive and right for people to want to stay and work in the country, rather than try to just put impediments in the way.
We know that at your last annual general conference, you made some recommendations specifically to government and to the power brokers to help reverse the trend. Have we made any progress regarding that?
The simple answer is to say that not much progress has been made. At our last annual general congress, which was in Bolgatanga, the Ghana Medical Association, seeing how serious this issue is, and especially looking at how this is affecting deprived populations, and especially those underserved areas, made it our theme to discuss the issue of distribution of doctors across the country, especially in the rural areas. And out of these came some proposals that we should make the working conditions of these doctors much better than it was. Our president spoke some time ago of the situation where when he graduated school, the salary he used to take then was equivalent to over $2,000. Now today, as a senior specialist who has worked several years both at Confanachi and now at where he works, his actual salary, even though I've seen some increase, the purchasing power is less than $1,000 or barely $1,000. What it means is that his life and quality of life is being brought down gradually over time if all he depends on is his salary.
Right.
And then we also spoke about the issue of discussing some rural incentive packages and also reducing the period doctors have to wait, especially nurses have to wait at home before they are posted. Often during that period is where they contemplate writing various exams to leave the country. And once the exam is done, the focus is to get out of the country. And so we looked at all these as well as the amenities, social amenities that are in places where doctors and nurses and other health professionals work. Poor roofs, bad schools or not good schools, water sometimes is not there for them to work. Some tools for them to even work are not present. So if professionals feel unfulfilled in this situation, they are bound to look elsewhere to get their professional fulfillment along with the economic fulfillment that we all
clearly
desire.
Looks like this is a conversation we probably may not be able to end today, but certainly we'll be engaging you further to see what else could be done about this. Dr. Richard Salome, Acting General Secretary, Ghana Medical Association. More of this, subsequent bulletins. You're still watching News 360 on TV3.
We have business news coming up shortly. Don't go away.
Stay with us.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to demonstrate to you the superior properties of Flamingo Paint. As compared to other paint brands on the market, we take equal quantities of Flamingo Paint and this ordinary paint. We then dilute them with water. And now, let the test begin. The gentleman on the left is going to apply the ordinary paint, and the gentleman on my right will use the Flamingo Superior Paint. As you can clearly see, Flamingo has the obvious better hiding. Furthermore, Flamingo has painted a much larger area. You know, one bucket of Flamingo paint is equal to several buckets of any other paint brand on the market. Flamingo paint is made with superior formulation to give superior durability, superior hiding, superior coverage. Flamingo paint, simply superior.
You dey sleep? That's Madina.
Sentuntum say wunna ma deju me ma wonsa.
Efrema bema Daniel ba.
Ma wonsa. Sentuntum ma wasu muda ma wonsa.
That shall not slap. Having black mosquito quail. Common tontom na empom wisie bebre na ema wo mowa na ema wo nhwem na ehwam.
Having insecticide spray hwam na sanso kum a wotu ene omo wia nyina. Now having naphthalene balls and having perfumed insect repellent no ekumwa warrior na senja hwa wechiri.
Having black mosquito quail empom wisie bebre and say wo hwene so ehwam kama quail no emubu na jumo size no boduma don't shit to me no.
And a heaven spray having naphthalene balls ni perfumed insect repellent no ekumwa omutu na wa nam from na senja hwa wechi.
Heaven dear bakope. Heaven dear
Heaven dear
bakope. Heaven dear bakope.
FDA aji edrede krato yatum.
You are your own person, unique, one of a kind, special. That's why you deserve everything tailored to suit your particular taste, your preference, your needs. Just like MTN Just For You. You can get customized offers tailored to who you are. Dial *141# or use the MyMTN app to get to choose from a variety of offers made just for you.
Extra work, I dare for you. Extra work deserves extra taste. Tasty dear. Plus, we've added extra crackers in each bag. Royal King Cracker, take choke your hunger. This advert is FDA approved.
You have 10 voice messages.
Kofi George, it's your father. I've called several times. My medicine is finished.
Kofi, it's your mother again. Pick my calls, why?
Life is good for you today, but tomorrow may be different.
I was told to contribute to the SNIT scheme, but I refused. Now I depend on my children for my needs. It may be late for me now, but you can choose a better path.
Do not end up like Kofi George's parents, always depending on your children to care for you. No matter the work you do, register and sign up for Seed from SNIT for old age pension, invalidity pension, and survivor's lump sum benefit for your dependents. Take control of your future. Ayodachio, Fano Personal. Contact SNIT for more inquiries. SNIT. We deliver on our promise. T's and C's apply.
Money dear, 1 MP. They want 539 chop money a big jar. You will chop money on a pebiara. I won't know what 20 bremo. A brow bed dial *446#. Let's sell it to option 2 no. Nature day 539 chop money. Try direct 2 no. Now this can do try no more 40 times. Direct 3 no. Now this can do try no more 400 times. Now direct 1 no. But this can do try no more 20 times. What means swap permit numbers no. Now what didn't what me have our man so every bako. I could see a dear sankron. Any dear, I am rekeke. Today 539 direct. Nanuni lotria, and more can yasahuro be bree, and you can papa. With me D. You will chop money on a pebiara. No for good mobile wallet so. Dial *446#. Nature Dewa 539 chop money. Dewa.
The business segment is brought to you by MTN, Pepsodent Charcoal and Pepsodent Herbal.
Hello and welcome to the business segment on News 360. My name is Michael Obodu. Straight into our first story now, as the individual bondholders forum say they will besiege the premises of the Finance Ministry tomorrow, July 11. According to the convener of the group, Senor Husi, the planned protest will be massive if the government does not give them assurances of paying their coupons in the next few hours. Speaking to 3 Business, he accused government of being insensitive to their plight.
Most irrational is for you to take a poor man's money and sit on it and still be driving your V8, flying in business class, keeping a large government. That is what is irrational. That is what is unjust. That is not what's responsible. When the person trusted you with his mandate for you to improve his life, you don't, first of all, make life unbearable for him and go ahead and steal his savings. That is what is most irrational.
What do you hope to achieve with this picketing in the first place? A lot of people have picketed and you had no results. What makes you think this will work?
Brother, I think you haven't seen anything yet. The real action is coming. We are not coming 20 people. We are occupying the finance ministry. Every inch of space, we are occupying it. We are 300,000 members. We are occupying the space. So you must come and fight for yourself, and not just for yourself, for your kith and kin. But for me, what's more important is really the example we set as Ghanaians for the future of governance.
Meanwhile, economist at the University of Ghana Business School, Dr. Patrick Assuming, says investor confidence in the country will worsen if government continues to fail to honor claims to bondholders.
You know, the government is really destroying a lot of the social capital and social trust. That is absolutely important for it to even implement the IMF program that it has finally signed on to. Because, you know, there will be many times that the government need to have discussions with Ghanaians and make commitments. And, you know, people will expect that, oh, okay, maybe for a short term, you're going to endure this, expecting that at some point, some relief will come. If we start on this note, where, you know, government is not meeting its commitments, then every time people are going to have any discussions with government, they will always be looking on their shoulders. So I don't think this is not helpful. I don't anticipate that there will be immediate social unrest or upheaval like that, but I think, you know, the government really needs to have a long think about, you know, its strategy.
Now, away from that, the Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Investment Promotion Center, GIPC, has revealed that government is undertaking several structural reforms to restore investor confidence in Ghana's economy in order to reposition it as the ideal investment destination. Yofi Grant made this known at the 9th edition of the Economic Councillors Dialogue on Promoting Bilateral Investments in Accra.
Current global dispensation, characterized by political instability and post-pandemic struggles, have heightened the need for collaborations at all levels of the economy. The 9th edition of the Economic Councillors Dialogue aimed to proffer economic and investment strategies as well as practical measures to accelerate economic recovery. It gathered key players from various trade missions in Ghana, as well as representatives from government agencies, including Ministries of Trade and Industry and Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration. Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Investment Promotion Center, Yofi Grant, reiterated government's commitment in restoring investor confidence.
So far, it's been good. I mean, we've achieved closure of the IMF discussions in record time. We hope that we can do the same with the other, creditors that we have and get to a situation where we get back on our feet. I believe that they all recognize Ghana as one of those countries that would perform given the space and the time. And that is why everything has happened in an accelerated form.
Ambassador of Lebanon to Ghana, Maha Kier, acknowledged the role of economic partnerships as the backbone of global prosperity and stability.
As economic councillors, it is our duty to foster an environment of trust, promote open dialogue, and advocate for policies that support economic integration. By accepting these principles, we can unlock the full potential of economic ties and create a better future for our nation and the world.
There was also panel discussion that centered on best practices to foster sustainable partnerships between Ghanaian businesses and international investors.
And that will be all for business here on News 360. For more business stories, please check out our website, 3news.com. My name is Michael Obodu. Thank you for watching. As always, please stay safe. Up next, the sports.
You are your own person, unique, one of a kind, special. That's why you deserve everything tailored to suit your particular taste, your preference, your needs. Just like MTN Just For You. You can get customized offers tailored to who you are. Dial *141# or use the MyMTN app to get to choose from a variety of offers made just for you.
Pepsodent introduces charcoal and lemon essence. A unique combination of natural essences whitens teeth naturally for you and family because every smile matters. New Pepsodent Herbal. Introducing a unique combination of herbal extracts in an antibacterial toothpaste for strong teeth and healthy gums that protects your family and you. Every smile matters.
Whenever you fly to space or take your first step as baby, Soft Care always stays with you.
New Soft Care Space Series is rooted from space technology. Keeps you dry and comfortable for 12 hours long. Offers you the most effective protection during your space journey.
Soft Care. Protect your leap.
GASM, with over 50 years of experience, has various grades for various jobs. The GASM Extra 42.5N is suitable for ultra-high strength structural application like bridges, dams and high-rise buildings. The GASM Super Strong 42.5R was made for high structural applications like precast concrete and block manufacturing. The Gasem Super Rapid 32.5R is here for normal building foundations like strip foundation and other ordinary concrete works. The Gasem Super Cool 32.5N is best for all block laying, tiling and other mortar works. Never believe that one grade of cement can be used for all jobs. Choose Gasem Cement always. Gasem, 4 cement grades, excellent customer value. Gasem, the nation builder.
Day by day men, strong and refined, the skincare you deserve. Dream.
Oh, that's wonderful! And that is what champions do!
It feels good to football with GoTV.
Works the space well and scores a brilliant...
Nobody but GoTV gives you all games of La Liga and Serie A. The Premier League and UEFA games that matter and the world's favorite cup competitions. Get GoTV Super for only 249 cedis to enjoy the football overload. GoTV, love it.
Many people think I get whatever I want because I'm a popular actress. But no, that is not true. Me Alcasano, Adebia mi yebiano, me shishimpe papano. And when I find it, I stick to it. My shishimenya Bell Pack tissues. Bell Pack ewe tea roll. Bell Pack tea roll. Soft, but not weak. Strong, but not hard. It is smooth. Me yusua, me hotome. It's just perfect. Same as the kitchen towel. What about what? What me the papaye? What me soki? Echimu esa pepa. One Bell Pack kitchen towel lasts longer and saves you money. It's time you switch to Bell Pack today. Say here pocket tissue, table napkin, tea roll, and a kitchen towel. Bell Pack is simply the best. It's just perfect.
Nothing feels so good like Bell Pack.
With Glovo, you order anything you want, and when you receive it, you celebrate it with your whole body. Because when that tasty grilled chicken is here, the weekend starts. The ingredients for your favorite recipe just in time. And when the cake arrives, the party is on. Because receiving anything on Glovo deserves a dance. Download the app, order anything you want, and track it minute by minute until it arrives. Glovo, order anything, we deliver in minutes.
Sports segment is brought to you by
Gentleman Cosmetic Range,
Bell Pack Tissues.
Hello, good evening, and it's time for us to bring you the latest in the world of sports right here on News 360. My name is Theo Nyan, and earlier today, the 29th session of the GFA Congress was conducted in Kumasi with a number of agenda touched on. My colleague Oriku Ampofo was there and has provided some key takeaways from the event.
First on the list has to do with Ash Code. Now, it's been confirmed that the club have been suspended with their membership rights revoked, and so they cannot partake in any football activities. It was a decision that was taken by the Executive Council and upheld by Congress after a vote earlier today. Number 2 on the list also saw Congress vote in favor of the new nomination fees for the various positions for the upcoming GFA elections. The biggest one is the president, which now you require 50,000 Ghana cedis to be able to file a nomination to run as president of the Ghana Football Association. Number 3 is the Autonomous League, which is expected to take place from the 2024 to 2025 season. Plans have already been made with 2 clubs, Ashanti Kotoko and Heart of Oak, paying their fees of 100,000 Ghana cedis, which all the clubs agreed on. Each team will have 1 member of the board plus one member from the Ghana Football Association forming the board for the new autonomous body, which would be called the Ghana Premier League Limited. In terms of some of the benefits that the league would come with, would have a new incentive structure, which would now see Ghana Premier League clubs get more money the higher they finish in the league. Number 4 on the list has to do with Ghana Football Association President Kurt Okreku, who unveiled that on Wednesday, a long-awaited document would be revealed to Ghana, and that is titled the Ghana Football Philosophy. Now, this would basically entail the football identity of Ghana and how they want the various national teams and Ghana football to be played as a whole. My name is Ore Kwampofo, reporting for 3 Sports.
Now, still on the Congress, the decision that has been on everyone's lips has been the suspension of Ashanti Gold from participating in any competition indefinitely. 3 Sports spoke to stakeholders on this issue that was detailed in this report.
Decision by the Executive Council, there was a need for a stamp of approval by Congress, and that's exactly what happened, although it wasn't so straightforward.
Limited by guarantee. I don't see the reason. I'm not a lawyer. If it's any reason, anyone here can take Ghana Football Association, they are above the Ghana law, they should tell me. I'm counter the motion. Ash Gold should be back.
The Executive Council, on the other hand, believed that all of this was unnecessary because documents were sent to members 14 days before Congress.
Now, it is clear from our standing orders that if you disagree with the decision of the ESCO, if you disagree, you would have to submit a counter proposal in writing to the General Secretary. You are here. No member disagreed. No member filed or submitted a counter proposal. You don't come and raise counter proposals on the floor of Congress. That's not what the rules say.
Well, it looks like this Ashanti Gold case may drag well beyond Congress, with Parliament set to also be involved.
At the time when it was being done, I asked a colleague whether the committee in Parliament could not jump into it and try to see if they can save the situation. But already, the stage at which it got to meant the Congress was just waiting to affirm it, and it got affirmed. However, we would want to see how we can still do some boardroom discussions, because when you talk of Ash Gold, it's a big team.
Although former CEO of Ashanti Gold, Kujo Fiano, believes that the club shot themselves in the foot by not making an appearance at Congress to appeal the decision.
Why I felt so sad was that they should have taken advantage of this Congress, show their faces, even as observers, and then appeal to the conscience of congressmen to assist them. So their absence also didn't help them. But all the same, I think that the door is not closed to them.
One thing is for certain, we may not have had finality on this Ashanti Gold issue, but what we do know is that as things stand ahead of the new season, Ashanti Gold would not be participating in any form of football in Ghana or beyond. Ore Kwampofo reporting from the Great Hall at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology for 3 Sports.
All right, we'll bring you more from the Congress, but also remember that there's been some transfer business involving Ghanaians. Alexander Jiku, has moved on to a Turkish club, but so has Chelsea's Babar Akman, who is now with a Greek side, PAOK. And that'll be all for the sports here on News 360. We'll bring you some more sports later at 9 p.m. That sports station. My name is Theo Nyan, and I'll see you later.
Again, Emma Bema ya abrantipa. Senya nyama ehuhia ahobambonti. Eshenuma no tokoso. Senya odwin nyama hokonkai. Eye ahotoswa owo ewojidie Utumiti no nokredi ho pampan efri echire. Yeda abrantipa gentleman cosmetics hunya made. Yawo activated charcoal shower gel, body lotion, eduham perfume. Iwia se hia abrantipa. Bra beye mu baako. Ye abrantipa.
Tasty Tom tomato mix. Ofa kakra. Na ye bebre. Fa kakra ye nkwan stew dodo a ope.
Tasty Tom dear. It will surely give you value for money. Steak and little is enough to get our desired quantity of stew and soup, and it doesn't color your meat or chicken.
Tasty Tom tomato mix into writing and sada. Into customers bar never.
I don't compromise on the quality of my food. Use Tasty Tom enriched tomato mix. This advert is FDA approved.
Are you tired of struggling with bad financial situations? At Quick Credit, we understand the difficulties that come with transitioning to a better one. That's why we're here to simplify the process for you. With loan facilities from 1,500 cedis upwards, all you have to do is call and we will take care of the rest. All you need is your national ID. No savings, no collateral, no susu, no deposits, and no account opening required. Quick Credit has you covered. Whether you're expanding a business, starting a new one, facing an emergency like school fees or funeral expenses, or even just in need of a salary loan. What are you waiting for? Call Quick Credit today. 0302 200 390 or 059 692 0833. We do not give loans via the internet. Quick Credit is regulated and licensed by the Bank of Ghana. Terms and conditions apply. Quick Credit. Lending made simple.
Junior, let's play riddle.
Riddle.
What is milky? And yeah, even more in the pack. And they're your favorites.
Hard biscuits.
See, you gotta have a smile.
Now, more biscuits in every pack. Pack biscuits. Pack up your day more. This advert is FDA approved.
Mami Musa was same yansa. Mo networks are mo use no. I'm planning and I'm recharge ya. Mo yanfa so everyone so. Mabwa, kapre. Wait. And that's what you madi. Mo ntian ka go di through. Vodafone say every Saturday koi, a brevia over recharge from 5 cedis Ekobiano. Assigned with seeking up to 20% amount back cash. Our Vodafone cash so. It shock you? What did you hear say? Over recharge. Say my Vodafone app. Vodafone cash. Credit transfer. Short code. Emubia. Uradia.
Top up your airtime with 5 Ghana cedi or more in Vodafone's demo promotion and receive up to 20% of your money back straight into your Vodafone cash wallet. Recharge and cash out in the Vodafone demo promotion. Vodafone, further together.
Entertainment news segment is brought to you by Awake Purified Drinking Water, GTP, still timeless, Vodafone, further together, and powered by 3 Entertainment.
My name is Anita Ikia Ekufu and you're welcome to the entertainment news segment. And Pleasant Gardens in Jolu last Saturday hosted hundreds of patrons at a date rush pool party. The event, interspersed with music, dance and games, was an opportunity for loved ones to link up. Here are some highlights from the event.
Let's do this, let's do this, let's do this, let's do this, let's do this.
It was nothing short of fun and excitement. The event brought together old and new contestants of the television reality show under one roof.
If you want me to accept you and you want to cheat, you have to have money.
Okay.
Because cheating for home. You can't be poor and cheat. Cheating is for the rich people.
Music from Dope Nation, Kwame Yogurt, Kwekubani, DSL and other Mentor X contestants spiced up the fun-packed night.
It's a bomb. It's crazy. Like the rains couldn't stop the enjoyment. The whole party. It's so organized. The location is dope. Everyone is having fun, and then we just decided to join them, and it's a party. Yeah.
To some contestants, it was really fulfilling connecting with old friends.
It's so excited. I'm feeling good. The energy here, I never see energy like this anywhere before. I never see energy like this anywhere. I never know that pool party is enjoyable. I never know.
Best ever. I've ever enjoyed this show more than any show I've been to. I'm dancing. I'm very, very, very happy, as you can see.
Kenneth Addo is the head of events for 3 Group.
Almost 1 a.m. and people are still jamming. What do you make of it?
Well, it shows how people have come to love the brand. Date Rush, and of course,
the TV3 brand as well. We gave them a promise, we fulfilled it, and they also honored the promise by, you know, coming to have a good time. So certainly the rains couldn't stop them, and that's how come it's 1 a.m. and we're still here.
It was indeed a blast. My name is Anita Ekufu. Have a good evening.
Tunisian authorities have suspended the salary payments of 17,000 teachers and sacked 350 school principals. The move affects nearly a third of the country's primary school teachers and follows widespread recent protests by education staff across the country. These protests have included refusing to hand in the school grades of pupils. The Tunisian government has insisted that the country's dire economic problems mean that the teachers' pay demands are unaffordable. Tunisia is facing high inflation, rising unemployment, and severe shortages of some staple foods.
And remember to brush your teeth before you go to bed this evening and tomorrow morning when you wake up from bed with either Pepsodent Cavity Fighter, Pepsodent Charcoal, Pepsodent Herbal, or Pepsodent Triple Protection. Because with Pepsodent, every smile matters.
All right, so that's it. Keep smiling as we bring the bulletin to an end. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Martin Esiedu Date.
I am Portia Gabo. Enjoy the rest of our programs. Have a lovely evening.